Sweep the leg.
What is happening, good people of YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we're back here in Car Mechanic Simulator 2021, episode number 12. And man, this series is moving along really good. It's getting exciting. It's getting hot in here. So take off all your clothes. Or maybe not. I'm not trying to force you to do anything you don't want to do. Hashtag me too. And in the last episode, in case you missed it, we took a 1950s Chevy, beautiful car. We restored it completely to 100% and sold it. We made a good chunk of change. We have $123,000 in the bank. Also, in the last episode, we leveled up to level 15. We bought an additional perk to save us some more money. And we also bought a few additions to our growing empire. We got Paint Shop level 3. We got the test center, and really the only two things left to buy are the dyno center and salvaging. We're probably going to buy those by the end of this episode. We'll see what happens. You're going to have to stay tuned to find out. I know, it's exciting. And in case you missed the last episode or the last couple episodes, we also got this really cool 90s Porsche. It is a hunk of junk. We found it in the junkyard, and we're going to restore it at some point, maybe in this episode, maybe not. Only time will tell. But if you missed the last episode, go back and watch it right now. What the hell are you waiting for? And because we reached level 15, we have unlocked the car auctions, and we are going to start off this episode by going to the car auction, and let's see if we can find a nice car at a reasonable price. All right, here it is. You come to the auction, we got two options. We got Kowalski car auctions and Kowalski salvage cars. Now, I'm assuming that the Kowalski car auctions here, these are cars that are in way better shape, and they're probably going to be way more expensive. If you flip through the pages here, we got some really cool cars, some muscle cars. There's a BMW there, a van. And we're just going to flip through these. Some hot rods there with some DLC content. There's an old Datsun. There is a Pagani, part of the DLC content. That is pretty cool as well. And these auctions are going to be more expensive than your normal auction because you're going to get a car that doesn't really need much to fix. So I tell you what we're going to do. We are going to go back out here. We're going to go to the salvage auction to start off with. Can buy some cheap junkers, I would assume. Let's take a look here. All right, these are cheaper cars. They're not in good condition. Man, right off the bat, I love this Mercedes Gullwing right here. It's pretty cool. Also love me a Volkswagen Rabbit. That's one of the coolest cars on this page. Let's keep flipping. All right, we got the Mazda RX-7, Plymouth Roadrunner. We got another little Volkswagen Rabbit thing. We got a Nissan GTR that looks pretty cool. Chrysler 300. There's a Dodge Viper down here in the corner. Wow, Dodge Viper GTS. Man, that would be pretty awesome to restore. We got a Ford F-350 Super Duty. He said duty. All right, look, stop being so immature. Let's get back to the game. All right, there is an older Skyline, which is really cool. Man, lots of options here in the Kowalski salvage car auction. I tell you what, we are looking at one of the Volkswagen Rabbit things here. And this is pretty cool. I mean, the wheels are in good condition. Got a lot of the body panels on it. Honestly, this is not a bad car. And lifting up the hood, I mean, it's got a good chunk of the engine in there too. Boy, this is way better than a car you're going to find at the junkyard. I wonder how much money it's going to take to buy this one. Take a look at the car status. A lot of options to swap the engine. And a lot of these pieces and parts have question marks. We don't know how good they are. But I mean, they're in the car. We can go in examination mode. Let's go ahead and do that right now. We're going to look through the car and see if we can get some more information about it. All right, well, we're done the examination mode, and I tell you what, the car really does have some good bits and pieces in it. I mean, taking a look at what we've discovered, a lot of these parts, not too bad. We can probably repair a good amount of them. Tell you what, let's go to the auction block, and let's see what this thing's going to go for. Oh, this is exciting. It's got the estimated value, $18,730. Oh boy, that's a lot more money than I thought it was going to be. All right, here we go. Auction has started. Let's place a bid, and right away, boy, these bids are coming in hot and heavy. I guess what the strategy here is you wait till it gets around almost to the end and then place your bid at the last minute. Bam, there we go. Oh, man, we're up to $16,000, $17,000 already. Boy, I don't know if I want to pay that much. $20,000 for this car. Hell no. That's it. We're out of that auction. That auction has ended. $20,000 for that car? Nope, not doing it. I feel like when we can get one at the junkyard for like $4 grand and build it up, I don't know, maybe we're paying because all the pieces and parts were in better condition than the junkyard car. Wow, take a look at this. It's an old sheriff car. Wow, sitting in the junkyard ready for an auction, and man, look at this. We could probably restore this, paint it up with some new police colors, and I'm sure there's a collector out there that will want a restored 1990s police cruiser, the Salem Overking, otherwise known as probably a Ford Crown Vic. Oh, we could do an engine swap in it too, give it a supercharged engine. That'd be pretty cool. And again, we don't know much about it. It doesn't look too bad. I mean, it really doesn't have much of the engine at all in there. Body panels missing a door. Body panels look pretty rough. The wheels look pretty rough. I don't know. I wonder what this one would go for on the auction. We're going to go in examination mode. Let's get this free experience, and then we're going to see if we can pick this up as an inexpensive project car. All right, we got the free experience. Let's go ahead to the auction. $11,374 is the estimated value. Let's see if we can pick it up a little bit cheaper than that. All right, we placed a bid, and we're just going to wait. Let everybody get it out of their system. Get it out of your system, people. God, we're already up to $9,000. This isn't going very well. Oh, here we go. Placing a bid, $10,000. Placing a bid, $11,000. Oh boy, it's already over the estimated value. Placing another bid. All right, placing another bid. 13. Oh my God, 13,000. We're placing another bid. Are we going to go up to over 14,000? We are. Oh God. Placing another bid here. Holy moly. 14,800 some bucks. Wow. Man, we won the auction though. It's pretty cool. All right, let's put this thing at the garage. All right, well look, I've had enough fun and excitement here at the auction for this episode. Let's go back to the garage. We got a story mission van to get into, and now we have 2 cars at the garage that are potential projects. But look, aren't you curious just to see how much this Viper is going to be auctioned off for? All right, let's just see. $103,000 is the estimated value here, and we're definitely not going to buy that. But look, let's put in a couple bids. Let's just see how ridiculous this gets. All right, we're up to $40,000. We've placed a couple bids here. Up to $50,000. Getting up to $60,000. Wow. $66,000, $68,000, $70,000. Man, how much is this thing going to go for? Oh, we're putting in a bid of $76,000. Oh, I knew that was going to get overridden. Oh, $80,000. Oh, man, I feel like anything less than $90,000, we should get it. Oh, $88,000. Oh, no, it's going to go up over $90,000, and that's it. We lost. Better luck next time. Oh, boy, wasn't that fun and exciting? And speaking of fun and exciting, we got this little sheriff's car here. That's pretty neat. And we're going to leave that out here. We got $108,000. Now, I know what you're thinking. We have 2 project cars sitting here. And we've got this story mission van that we have to get to. But honestly, it wouldn't be a complete episode unless we went to the junkyard. So let's do that right now. All right, here we are at the junkyard, and we are going to look for some cars, maybe an old junker to take back, see if we can find a good deal. I mean, you never know what you're going to find here. Well, here is a little Honda Civic. Buy price is more than the car's value, and that is a junker. We're going to leave that sit. Keep looking. We got a Nissan Z car here. Doesn't look like it's in horrible condition. It looks it's missing a wheel. It looks kind of bad. $88.55 buy price, estimated car value $87.45. We'd be upside down in this. Well, we've already got 2 project cars back at the shop. It's going to take something special to add a third, and this isn't it. So let's keep looking. All right, here's an old Plymouth Roadrunner. It's all busted up. About $1,000 upside down in this one if we bought it. And yeah, we're going to leave this one here and keep looking. All right, 1970 Corvette. Take a look at this one. Buy price $9,000, car value $7,900. Same thing, would be upside down, and we're going to leave this one sit too. The Bolt Chapman, 1978. Kind of looks like an old Dodge Diplomat. $6,400 buy price, $6,000 estimated value. Yeah, we're going to leave this one sit too. Well, here's another old police car is what it looks like. I mean, this thing is a real hunk of junk. Yep, same thing. It's the Ford Crown Vic from 1998. And tell you what, this one actually, if we buy it for $6,400, we're about $900 in a profit already. But since we already have one back at the shop and we really don't want to do two of the same car, we're going to go and leave this right where it is. Here is an old hot rod, and this thing does not have much of an engine. If anything, we'd have to rebuild this from the ground up. It is kind of cool, but we're going to leave it here. I'm sure there's going to be lots of these that we're going to find in this series. $6,900, it's about what it's worth, so we wouldn't really be losing any money, but yeah, we'll leave it here and keep looking. All right, and here is a stubby little hatchback thing. I'm not even sure what this is. It's a Royale Town. Just a cute little hatchback. There are some options to swap the engine in it. $3,200. And estimated car value is $4,144. I don't know. I mean, this one is definitely not what I would consider a special car. It doesn't really have much of the engine left. This will be a complete rebuild from the ground up. And I'll tell you what, it's not that exciting. Kind of looks like a Peugeot, like a 308, something like that. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below what the hell is this thing in real life. But yeah, we're going to let this one sit here as well. Certainly not that special. So that's all the options that we have in this junkyard run. And unfortunately, we're going to go back with no cars, but that's fine because we got a lot of stuff to do in this episode. Moving things right along back here at the shop. We are going to go into the next story mission car. It's a cargo van. It looks like a GMC cargo van from 1995.
Hi, my sister recommended your workshop. Truth be told, when I learned the location, I couldn't believe there was anything standing here at all. And yet here you are, a great garage! Exclamation point. Back to the car. I'm coming with my truck. I use it every day at work. It's a bit worn out, but it's not missing anything. Apart from the engine's crackling and drops in power, I don't see any major problems. But maybe it's a matter of habit. Please take a closer look at the suspension. The car's often carrying some loads. Do the routine checkup and make it usable for a few more years. Thanks!
All right, and here it is. It's the big van, and what a hunk of crap this is. Wow, I cannot believe this person uses this van every day. There's no way. I mean, look at this thing. I mean, they're doing work in this van. Can you imagine this van showing up at your house to do some work in your house? I mean, I'm not letting them in. Sorry. Go clean your van. First things first, going into examination mode, let's get those free experience points. Then we're going to put it in the car wash because we got to clean it before we can work on it. Here we are at the car wash. Let's suds this thing up, wash it off. It's a nice cream color. This van looks like a hunk of crap. I'm not going to lie. All right, interior detailing is going to be complete. Let's just wash this thing completely inside and out before we put it in our garage. Here we are, back inside the garage, putting it on lift number 1. Of course, our Porsche is sitting over there. Let's go ahead and use this welder. I know they didn't ask us to fix the body parts, but I feel like it's a free service here. It's $800. I mean, look, it's going to cost us some money, but won't the customer be happy? All right, so there it is. We got to put this thing up on the lift. And let's take a closer look and see what exactly we have to do here. All right, there are some parts to be fixed. And wow, there's a lot of parts not yet discovered. 8 pages of parts here. Holy moly. I think we've discovered 1 page of them so far. So that is going to be a challenge for us. We've got to change the oil drain and refill it with new. And then there's some of the other typical fluid tasks that we have to do. Here is the engine. And man, that looks like it's going to need a lot of work. All right, let's see if any of these tests will work. First things first, the tire tread tester. I mean, I know the tires don't need to be replaced, but we can get a couple free experience points. Next, with the electronic multimeter, check out the electronics and see if there's anything in there that needs to be fixed. And right off the bat, look at that alternator and starter. I mean, this thing's identifying some problems. And the more we can identify without having to rip the whole engine apart, the better off we are. All right, there we go. A couple pieces and parts identified. as needing to be replaced. And now the compression tester. The engine can't be started. Wait a minute. This person said they drive it every day. They didn't tell us they couldn't start it. Oh boy, I tell you what, bunch of lying customers out there just trying to fool us. All right, we can't perform the OBD scanner because it doesn't have a port for it. I guess it's too old. Fuel pressure test isn't going to work because we can't start the car. So it looks like that's all the tests that we can do. Let's go ahead and lift this thing up in the air and get the oil out of it. All right, let's drain out that oil. And there it goes. Drain it into the tank. Let's put this thing away. Here we go. Get out of here. Whoop. All right, just kind of going around the engine here. I mean, fuel filter, oil filter, the starter, the alternator. I mean, there is a lot wrong here. And I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of stuff inside the engine. I mean, look at that distributor cap, the air filter. There is a lot going on. And they also want us to look at the suspension. And look, this suspension looks really crappy as well. The springs, the tie rod. I mean, you can even see it from out here. All right, we got a decision to make. We got to start taking apart this engine and discovering some of the pieces that are in there. And I feel like we should pull the engine out, put it on the stand, and start tearing it apart. And I tell you, one way to tell for sure is to take the oil pan off. Uh-oh, we got our first stuck nuts of the episode. Here we go, lube them up. All right, the oil pan is off. And look at this. Wouldn't you know it? We got rod caps that are bad. Crankshaft is bad. We're going to have to rip this thing down to the crankshaft, which means we're going to have to completely disassemble the engine. So let's not screw around anymore. Let's take the drive shaft off. Next, we're going to take this gearbox off. But before we do that, we got to take the starter off. And all this stuff is going to have to be replaced. Gearbox actually looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and take it off. Gearbox is off. I'm pretty sure the engine can come out, but we got to take these front exhaust sections off. And just to be safe, we're going to take these other front exhaust pipes off as well. Okay, now we can get the engine out. Let's go ahead and lower the van down, bring over the crane, and using this crane, let's go ahead and pull this engine out. There it is, engine is pulled out. Let's go back here and put it up on the engine stand. And there it is. There is our van engine on the engine stand. We're going to have to rip this thing down to the nubs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and rip this thing apart. And let's see what we're working with. All right, there it is. The entire engine has been ripped apart. Let's go over to the repair table. We are going to try and repair all the pieces and parts, and the ones that we can't repair, we're going to have to replace. So let's go ahead and get into this and see if we can save ourselves a couple bucks here. Wow, all of the engine parts have been run through the repair table. I don't know, we did the best we could. Let's go ahead and put it back on the stand and start putting it back together. And I guess the way we'll work it is if there's any parts that are still not 100%, we're gonna have to go ahead and buy new ones. Like the crankshaft. Wow, okay. Starting off with a bang. All right, there we go. New crankshaft is going in. Let's put this engine back together. I'll replace all the parts, and let's do that right now. I gotta come back to the van and take a peek here at the status. It says we have to repair the parts with a minimum condition back up to 58%. So I guess that's anything that's below 58%. Now we still got some parts that we didn't discover. I'm assuming that's suspension stuff. But specifically, I'm looking for the camshaft. The crankshaft we already replaced, but the camshaft is listed at 52% when I went to put it back in. And I'm just kind of wondering if I have to replace that, and I don't see it listed here. Let's go ahead and try and put back in this 52% camshaft. I mean, it wasn't on the list of stuff we had to replace, so let's go ahead and put it back in. And I guess we'll find out at the end of the job whether or not we need to rip the engine apart again and replace it. Boy, that's going to be annoying. All right, tell you what, I'm getting nervous putting back together the engine, and I get to the pistons, and some of them are right around 50%, between 50 and 54. So I put them back in, but I'm wondering whether or not I should replace them. And I don't want to put the whole engine back together, and then all of a sudden, we've got issues. All right, here's the pistons, and it says they're not replaced or fixed yet. So let's just mark the ones that needed to be replaced and also the piston rings. Actually, we're not going to mark the piston rings. I don't want to confuse myself. We're just going to mark those pistons. There's only 3 of them on that list. So we're going to take this engine cover back off. Let's go ahead and look at the pistons, see if there's anything that's highlighted blue that we can see. And nope, I guess it doesn't highlight it blue when you take the engine out of the car or something. I don't know. Yeah, I tell you what it is, we're not going to know until we put the engine back in the van. And that really makes me nervous here. But let's go ahead and continue putting the engine back together. I'll replace the parts I think need to be replaced. And man, we'll roll the dice on this one. All right, there it is. Engine is put back together. I'm really concerned about some of the parts that I left in there and didn't replace. I mean, if you put the wrong part or a part that's like 70% back into a slot where a piece came out that was 14%, like a spark plug, for example, it's still going to think that you didn't replace it, even though what you replaced it with is okay. Taking a look here, I mean, there's nothing out of order, I guess. It's a 90% engine. Let's just put it back in and let's go ahead into the car status. Let's see what we're working with. Front sway bar still needs to be replaced, and then all these suspension pieces. Oh, see, there's a piston ring, and I know I replaced all the piston rings, and then one of the pistons. I mean, oh god, see, this is what I was afraid of. Oh, I'm gonna have to go back into the engine. I'm just going to do it right here while it's in the van. I got to strip the entire engine back down to the pistons, which means I got to go underneath, take all the rod caps off. I got to just completely disassemble the entire engine again to get down into the pistons. And I'm not going to have y'all watch me do that again. So I'm just going to do it off camera, and I'll be right back. All right, the engine's back in. I fixed all the piston and piston rings, and that is one of the things about this game that I absolutely hate, is that you have to put the things exactly in the same slot that they came out of. But it's just something that we have to deal with. Other than that, the game is awesome. Let's go ahead and take these wheels and tires off. We got to get into the suspension and get that taken care of. All right, wheels and tires are off. Looking underneath the van at the suspension, there's a lot of stuff that needs to come off. I think the best thing to do is just kind of rip this down to the bare bones and put it back together with some new parts. So I'm going to go ahead and disassemble the front and the rear suspension as much as I can, just getting all these pieces and parts off. Got to fix the brakes anyway. So let me get this suspension off, and then we'll see what we're working with. All the suspension is off. We're going to do the same thing that we did with the engine. We're going to go in here to the repair table, try and repair everything that we can, and start putting it back together. See what we're working with. Well, we repaired everything that we could. We got some suspension pieces. We got to get on the spring puller here, separate the parts out. We're probably going to have to replace the springs and these suspension pieces here. So let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, you can see that the front springs going to need to be replaced. And looks like maybe the rear shock absorbers as well. Also going to have some wheel hub bearings, definitely some bushings, front sway bar. I don't know, I'm just going to add some of this stuff to the shopping list and go ahead and buy it now because I know we're going to need it. One thing we also want to do is come over here to the brake lathe and let's start fixing up these brakes here. While that's working, I'm going to go into the shopping list and buy some of the stuff that we're going to need. Here we have the brakes have been lathed. We're going to put together the suspension and let's see if there's any bits and pieces that we need to buy. I'm going to put all this back together and let's see where we are. All right, one thing we got to do is go back over here to this spring puller. We got to put the front suspension back together with the new parts that we bought. And then we're going to put this on. I think we're almost done putting the suspension back together. There were a couple parts in here that weren't quite brand new. Hopefully those are going to pass inspection. Let's go over here to the other side and put the other suspension piece on right here. All right, there we go. Now we're going to get under the car. We're going to put this front exhaust section back on, and we're also going to put this gearbox back on. We got to put the starter back on, and then we're going to check the car, see what there is left to do. I mean, hopefully we got everything. Basically, they got a brand new suspension. They got a brand new engine. I mean, not a whole lot left on this car that's in dire need of repair. All right, brand new starter going on. Put this drive shaft back on. Now let's check the car status. Oh man, we got one part that's not discovered. What could it be? Oh boy, I tell you, this van is really starting to chat my ass. Well, what's the next step? I mean, we've pretty much ripped apart everything that needs to be replaced. And we didn't rip apart the entire front suspension and rear suspension, but I thought I got all the bits and pieces in there. We probably missed a stupid rubber bushing somewhere. I'll tell you, if that's the culprit, I'm going to take this van and drive it off a cliff. All right, we're going to try and find this piece. Let's do some investigative work here. We're going to separate the tires from the wheels. Maybe it's a tire that needs to be replaced. Who knows? But I don't know. Let's start with the wheels and tires. Well, I found the culprit. You can see it right there on the screen. It's a busted up fuel pump. Let's go ahead and take this out of the car and replace it. There we go, new fuel pump going back in. And that should do it. Let's go ahead and take a look at the car status. Taking a look at all the bits and pieces. Green check marks all around. Bam, there it is. Oh my God, I thought we would never get done this stupid van, and I tell you what, this customer was referred by his sister, and I'm going to ban them both from my shop. I mean, you can't be bringing your hunks of junk in here and expecting me to fix them when you lie about what's wrong with them. I mean, what the hell's wrong with people? And speaking of what's wrong with people, it's time to ask yourself the question of the day. Are you subscribed to the channel? If the answer is no, stop what you're doing right now. Subscribe to the channel. What the hell's wrong with you? If you don't subscribe to the channel, you're gonna have to fix vans like this for the rest of your lives. Okay, maybe not. But it sounds good to say it. So subscribe to the channel. And while you're at it, hit that bell notification so you're notified of all the content coming out on the channel. And you know what? While you're at it, hit that like button. I don't care if you didn't like the video. You gotta hit the like button. It's part of the YouTube rules. And don't forget, leave your comments down below. Doesn't even matter what you say. And we are filling up the fluids in the car. We're replacing them. We're filling them up. I know we gotta do all that. And we are gonna get this van the hell out of our shop. I mean, I have worked on some crappy pieces of junk before, but I've never had one that's been as frustrating as this, where you gotta take the engine apart 15 times in a row just to find some stupid part and then put it all back together, and oh my God, can't take it anymore. I might have to retire from the car mechanic business just based on this one job. Now look, I know we're probably not supposed to drain out the windshield washer fluid. We can just put new in. But it's a free service here at Route 66 Auto. And man, I hope this kid pays a whole lot for this job, because we're not taking anything less than $50,000. I mean, I'm just saying. All right, last thing we're doing here, filling up the oil. And this car is going to be good to go. Now, normally I would take it to the dyno, I would fix the suspension, line it all up, but you know what, I'm not doing that. I can't get this van the hell out of the shop fast enough. All right, everything is done. Wow, we are going to finish this job. It's a longer episode, and man, I hope it was worth it. Did a lot of time lapses in there, and let's go ahead and finish this job. Let's see how much that we're going to get paid for working on this hunk of crap. Oh my God. I mean, you have got to be kidding me. A rubber bushing. You know what? I only got one thing to say. F rubber bushings. I mean, you heard me say it. I said it right here. Tell you what, I'm going to take a rubber bushing and shove it right in this customer's ass. Rubber bushing. There it is. Stupid rubber bushings. Here, put it back in there. How you like that? Tell you what, while I'm at it, I should probably put the wheels and tires back on. Might make a difference. Oh my God, what are we doing here? Route 66 Auto. We're losing our heads. We're losing our minds. I hope you guys have stuck with me through this episode. So I tell you, I'll make it worth your while. In the next episode, it's going to be even better. Hopefully we won't have to fix as big of a hunk of junk as this van is. We're probably going to take on the Porsche. I mean, you know, in every episode now, we got to go to the junkyard and see if we can find a cool junker. We might even go to the auction at the beginning of every episode too, see if there's any kind of deals to be had there. But honestly, I love the junkyard way better than the auction. And let's not forget, we still have a few barn maps to go through, so we could do that. Oh God, please let this be complete. Let's put this thing down off the lift, give it back to the customer, slap the customer in the face. No free coffee and free Wi-Fi for this customer, I tell you what. All right, finally, let's finish the order. I mean, I could have swore I put the car back together. This car, I'm gonna lose sleep over it. Sway bar front end, look, it's 57%, I'm putting it back on, I don't care. All right, that should be everything. Oh my God, if it's not everything, I am throwing the controller through the TV at the customer. It's gonna go right in his ass. All right, here we go. One last time, finishing the order. And there it is, we only got $7,600 for that? Holy shit. $7,600 for that job. That's a $10,000 job. I mean, come on, give me a break. Well, that customer's gone. He's out of the shop. Gives us more space to roam around and look at this beautiful machine, this Porsche that we're gonna fix up. And we're gonna fix this up in the next episode. Now, we did level up to level 16, so we can go into our toolbox. We have 4 available skill points. We're gonna spend those in the next episode. Work on our Porsche in the next episode. There is a lot of stuff going on in the next episode. I tell you what, if you've got any referrals for cars that are broken down, don't bring them here. I don't want to work on them. I mean, only if they're vans. But look, you, my subscribers, you can bring your cars to me anytime you want and I'll fix them gladly with a smile on my face. I mean, maybe not. But look, that is it. This Porsche is coming up in the next episode. We're going to go to the junkyard, see if we can find any more cool cars to restore. We also got this cool sheriff car outside right here that we're going to fix up. Somebody's going to want to buy it. So we got a couple projects here. We're going to level up. We got some skill points to assign. We're doing it on the next episode here at Route 66 Auto. Oh my God, what an episode. I tell you what, hit the like button for this. That van just tore me up. And speaking of tearing up, why don't you tear up this video? Throw it in the trash. But seriously guys, thanks for watching the video. Thanks for being with me. Thanks for supporting the channel. Most importantly, thank you guys for letting me be a part of your day. It means a lot. And we are gonna see you right back here in the next video.